Hello everyone, I'm here with Lisa and Charlie Ristow, and we are going to do some remembering of the good old days of when Charlie was in band. And that was in 2010. Can you believe it's been, what did we just say, it was 12 years? Yeah. And Charlie was one of the most amazing band members back in the day, and he was a percussion player. And the amazing thing about him is that he marched in his, would you call it wheelchair or your
Power wheelchair.
power wheelchair?
Yep.
Yes, and that was amazing. And I've seen him turn that power wheelchair on a dime when we would do formations, and even on the rough grass when we were doing the shows. And you were right on top of that. That was pretty amazing. And Lisa has always been supportive. I always appreciate Lisa, and she's was really supportive at the band. And I remember when he first came, you were very making sure that he could get around to where he needed to. So you helped enable him to be able to do what he loved to do, which Charlie, you were in junior high band as well. I remember you with our kids, even from sixth grade is when we might have met you, even at sixth grade, because that's when we had, remember
Mrs. Tinkle.
Oh, so that's even elementary school.
Yes.
Okay.
We started with
Miss Tingle. Okay, yeah.
Miss
So
Tingle.
she was, and so she taught fourth and fifth grade.
Okay.
And I don't know if we met you
junior
fourth
high.
or fifth, but then junior high.
When I started.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then junior high, we initially the first year was Miss Joy. Her first name was Joy, I remember. And then Miss Libby Andres
Libby
came,
Andres,
her seventh grade.
She
but
was wonderful.
she was wonderful, yeah. And you persevered. That's all to say. You loved band right from the off the bat, and you you liked percussion from the beginning, and to me, perseverance is what I think of you, Charlie, and perseverance and hard work, despite your you probably had to work extra hard to do what you did versus the other kids. And being in band is not for the weak, for sure. So, yeah. So anyway, and then marching and practicing back in the day, it was out on the field in the heat of 120 degrees, right?
Yeah.
And that was a challenge in and of itself,
It was.
right? Yeah, and then and I remember as band parents, we had so much fun as band parents doing the supportive stuff and everything. And I remember Lisa's a real estate agent, so she and her company, I remember delivering that one with a pallet of water, and we just went through water like crazy, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
But anyway, I appreciate it. Any stories you want to tell from back in the day? Anything, maybe some story that really stood out to you, like during the marching season?
I don't know about you, Charlie. I don't know. What stood out for me as a parent is that I knew he wanted to be, part of the band and one of the bandies, or and then there was obstacles, to get in the music rooms, to get upstairs, to get on fields, physically with his wheelchair, and a lot of things weren't, conducive to getting him on a field or even in a classroom. And the school totally made modifications, and I know the teachers and were so supportive, especially Mrs. Rivalin, to help him be included. And that was just amazing, because that was so just really, really a special time for him to be in band in high school, and then to be in the parades, and to be out on the field, and then the other thing was that he wanted to play the drums. And how do you hold the drums with when you're sitting in a wheelchair? So one day, I think he was an angel. There was a guy at our house just.
In fact, you can talk about it, and I'm
there was
going
a guy at our house just putting up a television, and I started telling him we had this dilemma that Charlie wanted to be in the marching band, but he didn't know how to hold his drum on his chair. And Ron Sandlin, he took a look at Charlie's chair, and he said, I could probably make something. And he fabricated that piece that attached to his chair that he used. We painted it yellow for when they had the yellow uniforms in high school, and then when they changed to the green ones, we painted the attachment green. And even when he went off to college and he went to GCU, we painted it purple, and it was with him for the whole time. He held a snare drum on there. One time, oh my gosh, I remember which parade were we at? Which parade were we at with the Dubois when we were with Rusty and Brandy Dubois, the Veterans Day parade in Phoenix. They had actually, somebody forgot to bring his drum. And Rusty took us to a music store in Phoenix before the parade. We bought a drum. He rigged it, Rusty rigged it to attach it to Charlie's chair because we didn't have the attachment.
Right.
And he rode in the parade.
That's
but
amazing.
Those are the band people that we got to be affiliated with. You, I mean, lifelong friends now.
Exactly,
and
you can't beat that, honestly.
Did so much. Just
it was so much fun.
And I'm talking a lot, but one other thing that comes to mind is when Caleb had just been diagnosed and starting treatment for cancer. They had a get-together with the band kids, and Caleb came up to Charlie and he said, I just want to tell you something. So Caleb's suffering, with his illness, and he said, I just want to tell you, Charlie, you've always been such an inspiration to me. And Caleb was our inspiration, but he felt like that about Charlie, and so if we can make just a little bit of a difference in someone's life, that's what life is about.
It was,
and the school and all the band.
It was a very supportive place, wasn't it?
It really was.
Yeah, and when Caleb also was diagnosed, some shaved their head. I remember Andy, and I don't know who all did, but they was very supportive. But I wanted to, I did show this picture that I love, this one of Charlie by the river.
That's awesome.
And the drum, and he's got a beautiful smile. And you can see there's not too much shade on your face.
It was hot that day. I remember.
That's another thing is we didn't mention that this is Mayor Hakim with Charlie and
Ron
Sandlin,
who created his attachment for his chair.
People might be interested to know why Charlie is wearing the yellow uniform, because when Mrs. Reiblin first came to the band, that was available from the previous director. It was the yellow and the gray from another era. So the band wore that with black pants the first year, and then they got the black and white uniforms with the gold trim. And there's Charlie right here.
I remember when we sorted those uniforms and took them to the cleaners, and
it was
big jobs.
Amazing. And there is Charlie again, and this is at the Andy Devine parade, and that was one of the parades we went to probably all 4 years, was it, Charlie? Yeah. And then we always had fun taking pictures by the train, and of course this is Charlie, and you guys might recognize some more of these wonderful band players here. So those were just fun years. I just wanted to just hear from you guys. Here's Charlie all these years later, and he played at the GCU band, and we were just discussing how hard it was even to play for them, because they did expect a lot from the band members, and Charlie was very dedicated, I remember. And I remember the first years, every Arizona resident had to stay on campus that they could, for Christmas, so that they could play. But eventually they changed that rule, and they did some other different things too. But thank you for persevering. You have been a very big inspiration to us. So Caleb was right when he said that to you, and we appreciate your just hanging in there, and just, it's a good example for us. There's things happen in our lives, and we're like dragging our feet. and then we think there's Charlie, it's like, okay, I think it's time to get up and do what we need to do. Enough of that. So anyway, well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I appreciate this. This is going to be wonderful for our history. Love you too. Okay.